the 47th episode. We are really rocking and rolling here of Healthy Living with Marilyn. We are in season 4, episode 3. That's the math. I don't do math, but I figured that one out, Joes. You know, should call my daughter on that one. Anyhow, I want to welcome you to Healthy Living with Marilyn. We have a show for you tonight. We are going to be talking about how to get off the treadmill for permanent weight loss, and you can still eat chocolate.
I like that.
I like that too. I like that too. And I want to welcome my wonderful guest host, who's my co-host with the mostest. She's been with me over a year. Josie Hopkins. Thanks so much for being with me, Josie.
Always good to be with you. Always good to be with you.
It's always good to be with you.
Yes.
It really is. So my name is Dr. Marilyn Scott, and I'm really excited about tonight. Our guest tonight is Vicki Griffith, and we're zooming her in from Florida. She used to live in Richmond, and she moved. How many years ago did you move? Like 4?
5 years. 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so long ago. Yeah, Vicki and we met at some networking events a way long time ago. I just pulled my thing out, Joes. And can you plug that in? Mm-hmm. And we were in some networking events, weren't we, Vicki?
Yes.
And that's how we met. And she wrote a book called Stucked Up. And she was one of very few authors in our probably the only author at the time.
I think I may have been the
only author at the time in our networking group. Yeah. It was way cool. And Vicki and I hooked up, and she helped me a lot through a lot of different things, and she introduced me to different networking groups, because networking is big in Richmond. Richmond, Virginia is a very big networking town. Huge. And they like people-to-people networking. They don't like digital networking. They don't like Zoom networking. They like to be in the same room. Touchy-feely, yeah. Give me your card. Give me this. I want to see this. And that's the way Richmond is. We're not of the digital world here.
It's that Southern charm.
It is. That good old Southern hospitality. So, Vicki, where do you live? You live in Fruitland?
Oh, my goodness. I live in a little town called Fruitland Park. And we used to be, from what I understand, they used to grow oranges everywhere, like most of Florida. And we're about an hour north of Orlando. So Mickey is right in my backyard.
You're not too far from Gainesville, are you?
About an hour and 15.
So like you're in between.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep, exactly.
That's great. And she's been helping people with losing weight. Basically women, right?
Yes. Well, mostly yes.
Yeah, mostly women. And she came up a couple weeks ago, and we had lunch, and I said, man, I want you on my show. So we scheduled it, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you, Vicki, so much for being here with us. Vicki's also a hypnotist, and I've been one of her clients before, and she's helped me with that as well. So, and you do that online? Do you do that through Zoom? Can you do that?
Yeah, believe it or not, you actually can. I work a lot on the phone, and I work through Zoom and Skype. So bless you. And thank you for having me on. This is fun. We always gotten along very well. We've always had a good time together. So why would this not be any different?
That's right. Absolutely. That's right. It's just Zoom. We just can't hug each other, but we're here. You're in I'm in your house, and you're in my house, and it's just way
exactly
cool. So, excuse me. I guess I should get some water. Yes, Dr. Josie. Sometimes things go down the wrong pipe. So how did you get started with helping people with weight loss?
Well, I was the chubby baby, very cute, with the chubby little cheeks. And then I was a chubby toddler. And then when I became the chubby elementary school student that was wearing Huskies, is what they used to call the size pants I wore, that didn't get so cute anymore.
Right.
And at 10 years old, my mother took me to the doctor, and they put me on appetite suppressants.
Oh, my God. At 10?
At 10.
Oh, my God.
And at that time, it was an extreme stimulant. So I don't think I was on it for very long. Being a very quiet, reserved child, I think the vivacious person came out. I was very energetic, and I don't think my mom she put a kibosh on that pretty quick. But I have a couple of pictures, and hopefully you can see them with the light. I'm not quite sure if you can or not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
That's my high school graduation
That was your graduation picture?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually didn't think the gown would fit me. It's a one-size-fits-all gown, and I really didn't think I was going to button it up, but I did. So there I am in high school. Here's a picture of me in my early 20s.
Wow.
And a few years later, at an amusement park in Virginia, actually, I think.
Wow.
So I've struggled with my weight my whole life. I've been on every diet, all the national diets. I've done those, been there, done those. I did.
Me too. Yep.
I did. How about cottage cheese and ketchup? Did you do that one?
I don't like ketchup, so that would have been a no for me. No ketchup. It would have been cottage cheese and mustard. That would have been good because I love mustard, but not the ketchup one. No. That's an interesting one. Ugh. Yeah, I did everything short of getting my jaws clamped shut. I've done everything.
Yeah. I didn't do that either. And I didn't do the stomach stapling.
No, I didn't do that either. I didn't go see the bariatric doctor because, number one, I wasn't big enough for that. You have to be a certain size to have that type of surgery. And I didn't meet that criteria. And I wasn't going to go meet that criteria just to have it done.
Right. And that's true. That's a true story, too. I had many clients who got fatter just so they could have the surgery.
Yeah.
Really?
Lost the weight and then gained almost all of it back.
I was going to say, almost everyone I know that's done it has the weight back.
Right.
Yeah.
I have noticed that too. Everybody that I've known that has done that, they've gained the weight back. And then some.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's not a permanent fix.
No.
Because the permanent fix doesn't come from what we're eating.
No.
It doesn't come from exercising. What it comes from is what's going on between here and what's going on in our heart.
Right.
And then our connection to whatever we consider our creator or our higher source. That's what makes a permanent change. And so changing the superficial dieting, which I know you hate that word.
I hate that word. The first three letters in that word are die, and I'm not going to die doing this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true because don't you feel like it? Yeah.
It's self-deprivation.
We all feel like we're kind of dying a little bit when we go on a diet. It's deprivation. It's foods that we're not used to. It's creating a lot of time issues with us because it's usually foods we have to prepare a lot. We have to plan a lot. We have to shop differently. Everything about who we are shifts when we decide to go on a diet. And so I discovered how to release weight permanently is to stop dieting.
Well, that's a good idea. I like to call it an eating program. That's what I like to call it. Because I'm not going to die doing this. And I've come, I have an eating disorder. I've been anorexic before. That takes a lot of courage to say that on TV.
It does take a lot of courage.
I've been anorexic before, and I've been bulimic. And this was a long time ago, like 35 years ago. But I had gained when I was pregnant with my last daughter, who is now pregnant with her daughter.
Nice.
My daughter Christy will be 35. So that was almost 35 years ago. I gained 110 pounds.
Wow.
And I gained 10 to 12 pounds every month. It was terrible. I felt awful. I couldn't see my feet. I couldn't even wear my shoes. I remember having to wear wooden Birkenstocks because that's the only thing that could fit. I weighed, when I delivered Christy, and I love Christy so much, I weighed 245 pounds. Most I ever weighed in my life. And then I started running after I had her. And then I had a babysitter who was a triathlete. And I started running. And I lost like 130 pounds. And everything that I ate was making me sick, so I quit eating.
Oh, my gosh.
And I looked like I was a size 6. And I got a big bone structure, so I looked really, really not so good. Smallest I'd ever been. And it took me a while to get out of that eating, but I was getting ready to sign myself into a facility. And when they told me that the bathrooms were locked, why do you lock the bathrooms? So you have to have permission to go in. And because we don't want you binging and purging, and we don't want you taking laxatives and sitting in there forever. So that was the turning point for me. That's what turned me around.
Wow.
And I said, nobody is locking my bathroom. And I didn't go to that facility, and I went home, and by the grace of God, I wound up totally changing everything that I did. Everything. And it was hard. It was because when you have that eating disorder, it gets you emotionally.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
it's a very, very difficult thing to have to pull yourself out of. I mean, I was at rock bottom. The only way I could go was up. You know, there was no other way. I had to go up. So I have been there. So if any of you have been in that position where you've had an eating disorder and you want to talk, just give me a call, or we'll get you in touch with Vicki. Vicki's going to give you her phone number, how to get in touch with her later. And I don't know, it was just on my heart when you were talking about this to come out and say that, I had an eating disorder.
And I thank you for sharing that, because so many people hide it.
They do.
They want to hide it. They're ashamed of it. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. No. There's nothing. It's only hurting themselves more to keep it hidden. And you're going to inspire a lot of other, it usually happens to women, but not always, a lot of other women to get the support they need and the help that they need.
Right.
To get past that and through that, and to know that they can. That's the trick, is to know you can, because it can be a struggle, and it can be difficult because it is emotional.
Right.
And there is this fight going on in the head all the time about, well, if I eat a Hostess cupcake, I must be a bad girl. And so there's all that stuff going on in our heads too. And am I good enough? And not feeling good enough creates a need to eat more. And so there's a whole lot of layers, including the layers of our body, that we need to release in order to do so that it's permanent, and to learn how to cope with life differently than starving ourselves, or overeating, or drinking another glass of wine, or over-exercising, or overthinking, or overanalyzing. There's all these overs that we like to do.
Yeah, and, people don't realize your brain and your gut, they're brother and sister. Exactly. So if you're thinking something, it's going to affect this. If you're under stress, it's going to affect this. They are brother and sister, vice versa. They go together. You know, so absolutely. If what you think about has an enormous effect on your digestive system.
Yeah, absolutely. And so therefore, if you're not processing the food, it doesn't matter if you're eating the most healthy foods that every doctor is recommending, you could still gain weight because of how your body is processing your food or not processing your food.
Right.
Because based on what's going on in your head.
Right.
So that's what I help with, is how to change what's going on in our head and our emotions, and how to handle the emotions so we're not running to food, or running to binge, or running to starve ourselves. And how I started this was basically experimenting with myself. I had been on enough programs to know what was healthy and what was not healthy at that time. Of course, I've refined that in all the years. I've been doing this for 18 years. So I've refined that in my program since then. Because I learn more and you do more, because you know better.
It's process of elimination and tweaking your system. Exactly.
So how I started was, I started to pay attention to when I was, one, physically hungry, and what that felt like, because I didn't know what that was. It'd been such a long time since I'd been hungry. I didn't even know what that was. And then the hardest thing I had to figure out was, am I really satisfied when I ate? So if I'm eating and if you've been at an Italian restaurant lately and you have a bowl of pasta, that's about 4 servings.
I can't eat pasta, leave that alone.
I can eat it all.
I don't do pasta. It just stays with me.
Yeah.
And so I don't do pasta.
It's too starchy for me.
Yeah, I don't do bread.
Yeah, I don't do that much either. And I'm gluten-free, so I eat gluten-free foods now. But if you're going to an Italian restaurant and you're used to eating 4 servings, allow your body to tell you when to stop. And the funny thing is for me, it wasn't a physical sensation that I thought it would be. It was a voice in my head that said, "You've had enough."
It was your intuition that said, "Vicky, cut it now," right?
People tend to want to eat until they feel that their bodies are full, but it doesn't allow their mind time to catch up. By the time the stomach is overwhelmed, the mind still has not received the fact that you're really full.
Right. I mean, I used to go up to my mom's and eat, and then I couldn't move. I was like the Tin Man, you know, and it's like you can't move when you overeat like that. You just can't. And if you feel like that, for you out there in YouTube and Facebook land, and thank you for joining us, if you feel like that, be mindful when you go out, or be mindful when you go to mom's house, or, you know, a family gathering. Because a family gathering, you can gain a lot of weight at a family gathering. But you can gain a lot of weight going to a restaurant, you know.
Processed foods.
Well, the family gatherings is a whole new, different subject on top of it, because, you know, the gaining weight, we're joking and kidding about that. Technically, yes, you can. A lot of times it's because there's a lot of food, right? We celebrate. Our celebration is food. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want that to change. You know, you and I went out when I met to lunch together. It's social, it's fun, it's enjoying each other's company. So we don't want that to change. It's allowing ourselves to be in a place of listening to our bodies, and a lot of times the family stuff comes with emotional baggage.
Oh, yes.
So it's learning how to deal with everyone else's drama. And had many clients who holiday comes by and there's a whole pie left over. Here, take this home. They don't want to say no, because that would hurt somebody's feelings. I know for myself, my family comes from food is love. So if I said no to that, that would be rejecting their love. But it doesn't say what I have to do with it when I get it.
That's right.
Pass by the nearest trash can.
I don't have to take it home. I don't have to take it home.
No.
I can throw it away on the way home.
Or you can find somebody out, you know, that's homeless. Give them a pie. I've done that before, you know. They're happy with it because they don't have food.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So
and
Vicki,
that's beautiful, right? That feels good.
Yeah, it's a feel good. You feel loved. You feel like you're loving somebody else by just giving it to them.
So did you get into hypnosis to work on the weight loss, or did hypnosis come before the weight loss, or did your weight loss then lead you to hypnosis?
Great question. I actually saw a hypnotist at 16. It was another weight loss attempt. I have been on many since I was 10, literally. It was the program, the eating program was the Atkins diet before it was called Atkins. So it's ketosis now, I think is what it's called, would be probably close to it. I lost 30 pounds, and I use the word lost because it did find me back eventually. However, what I discovered fascinated me. And it really was the tipping point of how my life changed. Because what I discovered was that we all have this power in our mind that we don't know how to use. And maybe my eating and emotions, it wasn't dealing with my emotions, it was dealing with the food plan. So that's where the stopping point was. However, my confidence started increasing. I was raising my hand in class, and even my high school teachers like, "Who are you?" I don't know who you are. I had to give an oral report in psychology class, and I actually gave the whole thing without shaking, without having. And the teacher said to me, I thought I would have to pry you out of your chair to give that presentation. And I stood up in front of everybody. I gave the presentation smoothly. And that shift in this quiet, shy, reserved wallflower that I was changed everything for me. And I studied as much as I could about it. And I used it for myself and did into my young adult years. As life sometimes has us shift into different situations, I got into business and I became a buyer for a Big Ten university in their bookstore. Loved my job, loved it. Talk about spending someone else's money. That made me so happy. It was a great job, but it wasn't managing people in that sense. And I could do it. I mean, I built it to be $1 million department store. I did well with it. But that was one of God's stepping stones for me to learn how to operate a business. So I could share with people that aspect of what I do as well. And then my father passed away in 2000, and he left me like this much inheritance. And I came home one day and said to my husband, I quit my job. And he's like, you did what? I quit my job today. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know. I really don't know. I'll take a part-time job. I'm just going to figure it out. In the meantime, through all the grief and the sadness that I was experiencing, I had gained about 45 pounds back. The nights at the hospitality house where I was staying alone with my father, having to go up he still lived in Michigan. We lived in Virginia at the time. So I spent a lot of nights up there alone when I was up there. I'd gained 45 pounds. So I went for weight loss. And about the 5th or 6th session, she said to me, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I think I want to do what you do. And again, how we have such a gracious, wonderful God who knows what our next step is. She goes, oh, I'm a trainer. I can do that for you.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it started.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so you went on what I affectionately call the seafood and eat it plan. You saw food and you ate it. Exactly. I have 2 different types of stress. One stress is I see food and I eat it. And the other stress, which I've been going through right now, is I don't eat. Or I'm very mindful of what I eat because I have to force myself to eat so I don't get back into that eating issue that I had years ago. Because it can creep up really fast, so I'm very mindful of it. And the stress of finishing the book and the fact that, my son and daughter-in-law had a preemie baby, it was just, eating was not something that I could do at the time because of this different stress I was under. Yeah. So I'm getting that under control.
Because you're internalizing everything.
Right, and I've got that under control, but what I would be doing is I would write like all morning and I would be drinking water or drinking smoothies. And then when I finished a certain part of my book, I would then go eat. My reward was food.
Wow.
And that's how I handled that stress because I was really under the clock to get this done. Right. So, but I got to tell you, I am getting my eating under control. It just takes me a while, and I don't want it to hit me the wrong way, to grab me and say, oh, what did you do? Let's get this under control so we can continue. And that's what I've been working with. It's not easy. I mean, my weight is my Achilles heel.
So, Vicki, what are some tips that you give people to really begin? Where do they begin when they're thinking?
How can we get off the treadmill?
Well, sometimes it's okay to be on the treadmill, but not
that treadmill, girlfriend.
Dieting, and that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So, let's talk about coping mechanisms, and basically, that's what eating for a lot of us is. It's a coping mechanism, and there are really healthy coping mechanisms, and there are really unhealthy coping mechanisms. We can change something by just changing a thought, and that's true that we can do that. However, talking to a neuroscientist one time, he said it takes, the whole 21 days or 21 repetitions.
Right.
That's not true.
No.
Oh.
And now if you believe it, it is. And I'll tell you another story a little bit later about that. But if it really takes 10,000 repetitions for something to change. So a thought means you have to change it 10,000 times before it starts to change a little bit.
Wow.
I don't have the time.
No, I don't either. And 10,000, that's a lot of counting. I only have 10
I'm sitting
fingers,
here trying to figure out how to translate that into 21 days.
Yeah, really. How do you translate 10,000 thought processes in 21 days? I'll have to ask somebody who does math really fast, because I don't.
Exactly. So what I have found, there's two really great methods to shifting things easily and sometimes so subtly that you don't even know they're happening.
Okay.
And the first one is hypnosis. Mm-hmm. So doing self-hypnosis is, and using someone to guide it for you is usually one of the quickest ways to change what's embedded in their subconscious mind, our belief systems, our activities and experiences in the background, and even our emotions. Mm-hmm. It can happen so subtly that when I first started this program, I had to have fast food every day. I had to. That was how I felt nurtured. And I would cut back from the value meal Whopper to a Whopper Junior and a small fry. That's how I was cutting my calories down. Wow. But I had to do that every day. So one day I walked into Wendy's intending to buy the Junior Cheeseburger Deluxe and small fry. And when she asked me what she could get for me, I said I'd like the grilled chicken salad. And I literally looked behind me and went,
who said that?
Who said that? Where is that? I know.
But as she's bringing it up, I was thinking, that's really what I want. That's what my body was telling me I wanted. So it happens that subtly and without deprivation. I did not feel deprived one bit. So hypnosis is my first tip. The second one is a technique called emotional freedom technique. An emotional freedom technique is EFT or tapping.
I do
see you smiling.
Tapping.
I do tapping.
You're familiar with this technique. A lot of people don't realize that they can use this for food cravings. They can use it for the emotion behind the craving, and it will actually stop the craving. And not only stop the craving, but stop the deprivation around it.
You introduced me to tapping, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that?
At least, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I've been doing tapping for about 17 years. And I actually studied with the founder, so I'm an old schooler. And what I have found is what it does is there's a small gland in the back of our brain called the amygdala gland. The amygdala gland gets upset and goes, oh my gosh, we have to run or we have to fight this off.
Fight or flight.
So anytime we're under stress, that's what our brain's doing. All the blood runs out of our brain. That's why we can't think clearly when we're stressed. And it moves into our arms and our legs. So if we can't run to run off that energy of that stress, or if we can't fight something off, then we start getting more and more anxious. And for many of us, that's turning to food to soothe ourselves. So what this technique does is it soothes the amygdala gland so that we can get the blood back in our brain, so we can clear the energy system and the nervous system and feel better and calmer. Would you like to try it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, this
I've
is
done it
awesome.
For pain.
This is wonderful. Tapping is really, really helpful. So show us how to do it, and we'll do it all together. You do it at home too, friends. Do it at home.
Yes, absolutely. I understand you have some chocolate there.
Oh, yeah. Right here.
All right. So if you wouldn't mind, I have I show people how to do this usually with Hershey Kisses. This happens to be dark chocolate. What you want to do is you want to smell it. If there's any smell coming out of the wrapper, you can always open it up just a little bit.
Should we just take a piece and eat it and hold it in our hand?
No, you don't want to eat it. God, Josie.
You said you could still eat chocolate.
Well,
I took it literally.
Well, yeah, actually you can still eat chocolate, but this is when you're, there's a difference between wanting chocolate and needing chocolate.
Right. There's always a difference between a want and a need.
Yes. Yes, and we want chocolate. That's fine. Have chocolate. If you need chocolate, there's an emotional attachment to the need.
So is it better to want it or is it better to need it?
It's better to want it.
That's what I
than
thought.
Need it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because wanting it means that you could do without it.
It's a choice.
Right. It's a choice.
You're making a choice.
You're making a choice.
And nobody really needs chocolate.
It depends.
Good point. I see why she's the co-host.
Yes.
All right. So this is like playing Simon Says. Well, first I need for you to do is rate your level of intensity for the chocolate, 0 to 10. 10's I really want it. You can be a 20 if you want to be, but 10's the top.
Mine's like a 0 plus.
What?
A 0 plus. It's not even a 1.
Okay.
Or a 1 minus. A 1 minus. Remember, I don't do math, so okay. A 1
Just
minus.
over
That's mine. What's yours, Joe?
Just over 0. Okay. How about you, Josie?
I'm going to just say 2.
Okay.
Okay. All right. For those of you that are watching and you're a 10 plus, you're okay too. Okay.
That's right. You're okay.
And for most people that don't like chocolate, I kick them out of my workshops. No, just kidding. But I love
There are
chocolate.
people that don't like chocolate.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah. And you guys had some chocolate before. You shared that to me just before we went on air.
A little piece. A little piece.
Little piece. There you go. So playing Simon Says, you're going to do what I do and say what I say.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is tap with your dominant hand. I'm right hand dominant.
Yeah, I am too.
So tap with my right hand. And you're going to tap on what's called the karate chop, which is the side of your hand between your pinky and your wrist bone. So it's right here. Yep. And you be very gentle. You don't have to tap hard. And repeat after me, even though at times.
Even though at times.
I turn to food.
I turn to food.
To help me with my emotions.
To help me with my emotions.
I'm very stressed sometimes.
I'm very stressed sometimes.
And it feels like it's the only thing I can do.
And it feels like it's the only thing I can do.
And besides, I know it will taste so good.
And besides, I know it will taste so good.
And it will make me feel good for a little bit.
And it will make me feel good for a little bit.
I love and appreciate myself.
I love and appreciate myself.
Even though at times I turn to food.
Even though at times I turn to food.
Especially when I'm really stressed.
Especially when I'm really stressed.
And sometimes chocolate just fits the bill.
And sometimes chocolate just fits the bill.
It makes me feel so much better.
It makes me feel so much better.
And it tastes so good.
And it tastes so good.
I love and appreciate myself.
I love and appreciate myself.
Even though I really want chocolate sometimes.
Even though I really want chocolate sometimes.
And worse yet, there's times I need it.
And worse yet, there's times I need it.
And I can't live without it.
And I can't live without it.
And nobody's going to take it away from me.
And nobody's going to take it away from me.
I love and appreciate myself.
I love and appreciate myself.
And then you go to the very top of your head and the very crown and just say, this craving.
This craving.
And then the eyebrow, which is right here at the bridge of your nose as well. This craving.
This craving.
And the other one's at the side of your eye and the bone here. This craving.
This craving.
Underneath your eye and the bone. This craving.
This craving.
And underneath your nose. This craving.
This craving.
Under your lips and the crease here. This craving.
This craving.
Collarbone. Doesn't matter which side of the body. This craving.
This craving.
And then underneath your arm, which is the absolute silliest one in the world, this craving.
This craving.
Now take a deep breath. Let me know what you feel, your thinking, any emotions, any images that came up.
I feel relief. I feel like I'm in control of not eating that chocolate there. I don't need that chocolate. I love me. What are you feeling?
Well, I see myself standing at the register, and I'm looking at the chocolate.
Yeah.
But I'm really not moved to get the chocolate.
Ah, way to go, girl. Very
for
good.
both of you. Awesome.
Because normally I'm standing there and it's like M&M's or Almond Joy. M&M's or Almond Joy.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of energy patterns and emotional things that are going on, Lisa Hazelgrove from Lisa Healthy. Do you know Lisa?
I do know Lisa.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. Yeah.
She's having a program on Sunday, April 29th, how you can raise your vibrational energy and your vibrational frequency. Yeah, frequency. And she's going to have it from 10 to 12 at Resonance Float and Sound in Sycamore Square. Have you been there? It's a new place. It's been there for a little over a year. It's really, really a nice place. It's a float place. She has a float tank. There's a sound room, and she has an infrared sauna. It's really, really nice. I'm a business partner down there. I haven't had a chance to go down there much, but it's a great place to go. So next time you come down, next time you come up, we'll have to go. Yeah, because it's a great place. And she's having this on Sunday, April 29th, this Sunday. I've talked about it the past couple weeks. She's having it on this Sunday from 10 to 12. If you want to get in touch with her to know more about it and experience the vibrational energy and see how your body responds when exposed to certain vibrations, her phone number is 804-539-3251. Or you can get in touch with her at lisa@lisahealthy.com. So, Lisa, I won't be able to go. I'm watching my grandboys that day, but it's a great experience to do with her. She does the emotion code, and she's helped me before. I've gone over to her house, and we've done the emotion code, and it brings out emotions that people have stuffed subconsciously, just suppressed. And the way she does it, it's amazing how she does it. And you feel better. Like I just did the tapping. I feel so much. I feel lighter. Is that a good experience to talk? Is lighter?
Yeah, that's very common. And we'll do a couple more. That's considered one round. And my question to both of you that's less than 30 seconds. Have you ever thought that maybe you could give up chocolate in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Because most people, with the workshops I do, we do, an hour or so of tapping, and people are throwing away their cookies and their chips and their bread that they brought or their pie or whatever they brought. I had one woman bring in an empty ice cream container once, and they're actually throwing it away. And they thought, the thought was, I don't know that I ever would have been able to do this prior to this experience.
Right.
Because we're so emotionally attached to our food. So a lot of times that's what happens is people feel calmer, so they just can let go of the craving. It's not an issue for them anymore.
Right.
And the body's readjusting and rebalancing again.
How does one control a craving or eliminate a craving? I mean, do they just go eat ice cubes, or what do you suggest? Do you suggest I used to eat ice cubes. That worked for me.
Acknowledge that it exists.
And I would just maybe go out and go exercise or go to a yoga class or something. And what I did was I took my craving and put it in a different thought process.
Right.
Is that one way to do it?
That's very healthy to do it. What we're talking about is finding new coping mechanisms that are healthy. So extreme self-care is one way to do that. And if you enjoy eating ice cubes, and it's not harming your teeth, then do that. Right?
Well, it's crushed ice. It's crushed ice, There
you go. Yeah. Exercising, that when we're stressed, that's what the body wants, is some movement. But you can also do this. You can also do this tapping technique. And here's what's very fascinating about it. You can do it before the craving hits.
Right.
So for me, there's a trigger at 9:30 at night. It used to be. It's not there anymore. At 9:30 at night, I thought I had to have something to eat. It was a thought. I would check in and I'd feel empty. My stomach would feel empty, but not hungry. So I really didn't need anything to eat. But I thought I needed something to eat. And then the thought created anxiety because there's that I do need it. I want it. I don't need it. Yeah, exactly. So, the whole blah, 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 blah going on. And that creates more stress.
The self-talk in your brain.
Yep. And so more stress, creating more cravings. And so at 9:30 at night, I would have something to eat. So this is what I started doing in the morning. Didn't matter what time in the morning. I would start tapping like this. And if you want to tap along with me.
Yeah, let's tap again. You ready to tap again, girlfriend? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. You guys are great sports. Thank you.
Hey, I
want to do some self-hypnosis. If you could show us that.
You have to have me back another time.
That's another time.
I know.
That's another show. We'll have her back.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So start tapping, and I'm going to say 9:30 at night. But if you have a time during the day that's difficult for you, then just insert that time.
Okay.
Okay. So even though at 9:30 tonight.
Even though
it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, mine's at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Okay. I know I'm going to want something to eat.
I know I'm going to want something to eat.
And I won't be hungry.
And I won't be hungry.
But I'll really want something to eat.
But I'll really want something to eat.
And then it will turn to need something to eat.
And then it'll turn
to need something to eat. And my husband's watching me while I'm doing this. It's hilarious. You should see him. It's funny.
You should be doing it too.
Yeah, he should. Because he's got his hands on the console.
I appreciate and love myself.
I appreciate and love myself.
Even though I am sure I'm going to want something to eat tonight.
Even though I am sure I am going to want something to eat tonight.
In the afternoon.
I do every night.
I do every night.
Every afternoon.
I don't know that I can be without it.
I don't know that I can be without it.
I don't know if I can stop thinking about it.
I don't know if I can stop thinking about it.
But what if I can?
But what if I can?
Even though I am positive I'm going to want something to eat tonight.
Even though I am positive I am going to want something to eat tonight.
And at 9:30, it's going to remind me to eat.
And at 8 o'clock, it's going to
remind me to eat.
So what reminds me? My brain?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The clock's going to tick over 1 minute.
The clock's going to tick over 1 minute.
From 9:29.
From 7:59.
4:59.
Girl. And I'm going to want something to eat.
And I'm going to want something to eat.
Yep, I'm going to want something to eat right then.
Yep, the clock tells me to eat.
That clock tells me to eat.
My head tells me to eat.
My head tells me to eat.
But my stomach isn't hungry.
But my stomach isn't hungry.
I appreciate and accept my body.
I appreciate and accept my body.
They go to the top of your head. I'm sure I'm going to want something to eat at 9:30.
I'm sure I'm going to want something to eat at 8 o'clock.
Eyebrow, and I'm not going to be able to resist.
And I'm not going to be able to resist.
Side your eye. I'm not going to be able to resist.
I'm not going to be able to resist.
Under your eye. I don't know that I can not eat at 9:30.
I don't know that I cannot eat at 8 o'clock.
Under your nose. But maybe I'll try it.
But maybe I'll try it.
And if I do, it's okay.
And if I do, it's okay.
This need to eat at 9:30.
This need to eat at 8 o'clock.
Under your arm, this need to eat at 9:30.
This need to eat at 8 o'clock.
Good for you. Take a deep breath.
That felt good.
Look at that smile on Josie's face.
See?
She's like, this is so silly. Or
no, well, I mean, I tap for pain. I've been tapping for pain for probably about 7 years.
Good for you.
But I always know that it's a possibility for weight loss, but I'm always saying I can do it without it. Because I never see the weight as a bigger issue, as an issue as pain. Because I have extensive pain leading from several cancer surgeries. Right. And so I'm always wanting to get rid of the pain. I have not wanted to get rid of the weight sufficiently to take action.
Right. And that's part of it. There is a want, and actually tapping can help you with the want to make a change as well. I'm glad to hear you're using for tapping. It's very tapping is very successful with pain, as you know. So I'm grateful that you're using it for that and you're seeing results from it. So it is there's many uses for this technique. And I specialize in weight loss, so that's what I use it for. But I have helped people with pain. I had I was doing a weight loss class at the University of Richmond there. I am an adjunct professor. And I had a couple sitting in front of me, and we're tapping, showing them the first time, doing it for cravings. They had their favorite food in front of them. And I saw the gentleman turn to his wife and mouth something to her. And she's like, very surprised. And I'm teaching, so I'm continuing, right? It's kind of like having two students that are passing notes back and forth.
Only they're whispering back and forth.
Whisper. So I let them be, and about an hour later, after we still tapping, she looked at him, and he's like, and after class, they came up to me, and they said, we need to share this with you. I'm like, okay. He said, I experienced a headache every day for the past 7 years. And that first round we did, which again, 30 seconds, it went away.
Wow.
It went away. He said, an hour later, it's still not here. Now, what's hysterical about it is about 6 months later, I saw them while I was out and about town. Running up to me, do you remember me? Well, of course. How do you forget that?
Yeah, really.
And yeah, he still wasn't experiencing headaches. 3 years later, same thing, in Target, running us. Do you remember me? Of course, I remember. He said they come back occasionally, but with the tapping,
they go away.
So this is an amazing, miraculous, and I don't use that lightly, technique, and you can be used for a lot of things. We had fun with it today. I appreciate you all.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was great. I want to tell everybody, Aubrey, I know you're in Jamaica right now. She's in Jamaica.
Okay.
I haven't seen her in a while because I pulled my ACL last week and walking was an issue. But she's having a health and confidence. She wants people to take their health and confidence in, and she's going to help you build it with a summer program that she has as a 12-week program, and it's a lifestyle change. She is a holistic personal trainer, and she has helped me. She has been the one that's been with me spiritually when I have to run through airports. You know, it's like, okay, Aubrey, let's go. Let's book it. Let's go. And I make it to the plane. Don't ask me how, but I do. She's with me all the time. And she's having this 12-week to sustainable lifestyle change. You can get in touch with her at richmond-wellness.com, or her phone number is 804-367-3589. Do give her a call. She is very, very helpful, and she's helped me a lot. I'm losing weight. The other thing I'm losing weight with, I have this, I'm a homeopath, so I've been a homeopath for 38 years, long time, and I have this HGH gel, which is homeopathically made. It's all homeopathically. It has helped me lose weight. It has helped me with my cravings, to be honest with you. It has helped me sleep better.
And what's in it?
And, well, it's a homeopathic blend of stuff. And since I don't have my, since I don't have my magnifying glass, I'm not quite sure what all is in there. But you just rub it on in your arm, and it goes transdermal right into your system because it bypasses your digestive system. And if people are having problems with energy, this helps with that. It helps with my stamina. Several weeks ago, I was able to walk and run 3 miles with my daughter and my 2 grandboys. And she said to me, Mom, when I was on maternity leave with Sammy, you couldn't even run a mile without dying. And now you just did 3. You know, and this is amazing stuff. And if you have questions about your intimate room, this will take you from 0 to hero. I know for a fact, you know, it's really cool.
To see if he's responding.
Huh? He's busy over there. That's just as well. So anyhow.
Vicki, how do people reach you? And how you said that you can do sessions by video? How do people reach you?
How do they get in touch with you, Vicki?
Well, they can get in touch with me through my website, which is break-through.org. they can get in touch with me through Facebook. You're welcome to friend me. That would be awesome.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine, so if you go on my Facebook page, you can get in touch with her.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And I'd like to offer everyone a guide. It's called a No Guilt Guide to Losing Weight Permanently. Mm-hmm. And I'll be putting the link on both Facebook and the YouTube channel. So you can just click the link and download that. And that's another way to get in touch with me as well.
Can you put it on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page? Great. That would be wonderful. And if you're on my Facebook page, it's marilyn.a.scott123. My YouTube channel is Healthy Living with Marilyn Living. The easiest way to get to my YouTube channel is go to my website, Healthy Living with Marilyn, scroll over to links, scroll down to YouTube, click on YouTube. It takes you right to my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Really easy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I'm looking for more subscribers. I'm ready to take Healthy Living with Marilyn to the next level. And I don't know what level that is, but right now I'm so far out of my comfort zone, I can't find my way back. So it's just as good I'm out there. So
keep on going.
That's what I'm doing. I'll keep on going. I wanted to say I just finished my book last week or a couple weeks ago. It's called Be Amazing, How to Stay Motivated to Achieve Results in a Fast-Paced World. It is not out yet. This is just the proof, so everybody's looking at the proof here. Can you zero in on that, Michael? And when it comes out, I will be announcing it on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all those other social media outlets. So the other thing I wanted to talk about next Tuesday, and unfortunately, this is only for people who live in the Richmond area. I'm going to be on Comcast with Shauna Haley, and we're going to be talking. She has a Transformation Power Hour. Do you know Shauna Haley, Vicki?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about honoring the goddess within us. And it's next Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's on Comcast Channel 95 and Verizon Channel 36. And I am going to have Michael put that particular program on my YouTube channel and have it on my Facebook page after it's done. Yeah. So that'll be good. That'll be good. So, but do you have any other advice on how to keep focused on staying the course with the weight loss, with the weight program? I don't like to use the word loss because you can find it again, right?
Exactly.
I don't want to find what I've lost.
Exactly. The subconscious mind is concerned when you lose something, it freaks out.
Looking for it.
So it will do everything in its power to find it back.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very wise advice. If you are going to release some weight, use release, use shed, get rid of, something along those lines, not lost.
Right.
Or lose. Let's see. So pay attention to what you're feeling and your thoughts are. Awareness really is the number one key to weight loss.
Awareness. Listen to Vicki. Awareness is the number one key to weight loss. If you're aware of it in your mind and you're aware, basically if you're aware of your hunger or your lack of hunger or the fact that you're full and you still want to have that one more piece of chocolate, think about it before you put it in your mouth.
And your thoughts too. One of my clients was saying, she goes, I just realized I was having all of these negative thoughts about myself. And she goes, then I had the thought about having the negative thoughts about myself.
It's that circle.
Yeah.
It's that total circle. It is. Yeah. It's, you have to be mindful of that, right, Jez?
Yeah.
You really have to be mindful of that.
And just knowing your trigger points, too.
Right.
So, if you know what things trigger that emotional eating, then when you can identify it, then you can say, okay, well, this is happening now, and what normally happens after, then you can stop it before it starts to happen.
Right.
So, whenever I've had to make changes, it's first acknowledging what my trigger points are. being real about it. This is what it is.
Right.
Not saying, oh, well, it's not really that,
That's in denial, girlfriend. We don't want to be in denial about this.
So you got to say, this is what it is.
You got to be upfront.
When this is real, this is normally what happens, but I'm going to change that.
Yeah, you
this
have
is
to
the
be
new normal.
You have to be upfront with yourself. You have to be true to yourself. Because if you're not true to yourself, who are you going to be true to? Right? So that's really an important thought process to put in your head. Who are you going to be truthful to?
And there's a level of commitment that this takes, too. And I was having a conversation with a couple other people about commitment. And everyone gets flung out about commitment because it's hard. And what I've discovered is that a lot of my clients aren't committed because they don't trust themselves. Mm-hmm. They've lost their self-trust. And if we can get that back again, it's about making little commitments that we can achieve. That's so super achievable that we can feel good about what we just committed to, and we can trust ourselves again. So any program, I don't care what you're starting, if you're starting an exercise program, if you're starting a food plan, whatever it may be, any type of goal, make your goals so super achievable that you can make it without even thinking. So to start. So in other words, if you want to start exercising, instead of thinking you're going to exercise for an hour, exercise for 10 minutes.
Right.
Because then you're going to achieve it. And the next time you set your goal to 15 minutes, it's easy. Mm-hmm. You'll achieve that. It will feel good. You'll start trusting yourself again. And commitment will feel more easy for you than it did in the past.
Yeah, I think some people are afraid. They're afraid to make a commitment because then they feel that's concrete. That is, I have to do it now. And
plus, they're remembering how many commitments they've broken to themselves.
Right.
So that becomes a challenge. If you commit and you don't get the results that you wanted, then you don't want to commit again.
Well, absolutely. Often. And you want to use the KISS method. Keep it super simple.
Yep. Yep.
I've used that method in my office. I've used it all the time. Keep it super simple. The simpler you make it, the easier it will be for you to attain, right?
Exactly.
Right. So we're getting ready to shut down. My husband's saying we've got 2 minutes, and I'm trying to really stay on time tonight so he doesn't have to wave bye-bye to me and remind me that it's time to get off. And I want to thank you so much, Vicki, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Get in touch with Vicki you can get in touch with her on her Facebook page. We are friends on Facebook, so if you want to get on my Facebook page and friend her, she'll be more than happy to friend you. Her website is www.break-through.org, right?
Correct.
So you can get in touch with her that way. I guess you go over to your contact on your website, and you can send her an email through contact. That's how you can send me an email. If you do not have my personal email address, you can send me an email through my contact email at healthylivingwithmarilyn.com. I want to thank you for joining us in what is a very transparent show we had tonight. Totally transparent. Especially on my part, and doing the tapping with us, and keep that tapping going. And if you have questions, get in touch with Vicki. I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for allowing us to come into your living room. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful week and change your life today and be amazing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.